Wildcat Basketball Weekly, presented by Hughes Federal Credit Union, home of the official U of A debit card, voted Best Bank Credit Union and Best Debit Card. Get yours today at hughesfcu.org.
Welcome to another edition of Wildcat Weekly with head coach Sean Miller. Wildcats headed out on the Oregon Trail this week to face the Beavers and the Ducks Thursday and Saturday in the state of Oregon. Before we get to that, Coach, 2 more wins this weekend. Congratulations, beating Washington State and Washington. Would you categorize those 2 games in any similar fashion, just the way they played out and the 2 wins for your team?
Well, I think both games were hard fought. Washington State is a much improved basketball team from the last time we saw them a year ago. And if you think about it right now, I think they already have 4 conference wins. A year ago, they only had 1 the entire year. And when we go up to play Washington and Washington State, and I think really any team that plays them at home, are going to be really tough games. They're a very experienced team, and that helps them. Washington, always a physical team, and they hurt us badly on the offensive glass. And they have a player on their team, Markelle Fultz, who's as good as any guard that's playing college basketball. So excited to win both games. I thought that in both games there are a number of things we could have been better at. And now it's up to us to make that adjustment and be better.
All right, through 3 games now, Alonzo Trier has grabbed 17 rebounds. He has 14 assists and only 2 turnovers. Now, we know he can score. How important is the rebounding and that assist-to-turnover ratio in your mind?
It's really important, and we've seen that in practice for months, and we knew a long time ago that Alonzo, like a lot of really good freshmen who have great off seasons, and he did, that they're going to come back as sophomores that much better and more experienced, and he is. It's just we got him after 19 games instead of in November like it usually happens. But he's doing the things that he's done in practice. You're right, his defensive rebounding has been big for us. And I think eventually here, his three-point shooting will show as well. He's a much better three-point shooter than he was a year ago. And I think that'll be the last part that will settle in as he gets more into the flow of things.
You talked after the Washington game about the defense that Kadeem Allen played on Markelle Fultz and played extremely well. How tough is Kadeem? I mean, if you put him in a category of toughest guys that you coach pound for pound at his position, does he rank up there near the top?
He does. He reminds me a lot of Nick Johnson and T.J. McConnell. I mean, I'd put Rondé in that category. Kyle Fogg developed into that in his senior year. But, those guys, they just give you everything on the defensive end. It means a lot to them. They take it personal when somebody scores. But they don't just worry about the guy they're guarding. They help out, and some of the shot blocks. And really, he's had a couple tough calls go against him because in recent games, he's had a couple great shot blocks that, he ran the shooter down, and it ended up being a foul call. But it's plays like that make him more than just a good defensive player. That's why I use the word great to describe him, because he blocks shots, he gets steals, he helps off the ball, he draws charges. And he doesn't just guard the other team's best point guard or best guard. He a lot of times guards the other team's best player. He's guarded players that have been as tall as 6'8" and as small as 5'8". And but he's a big part of our success, and in particular on defense.
When you are on the go, you need your credit union to be right there with you. Hughes Federal Credit Union makes your life easier, offering tools to organize your finances and keep your payments up to date and you on track for your future. You also want a financial institution you can trust and cares about the things you do. For 60 years, Hughes has called Southern Arizona home and has given back to our community, investing in the causes that make our area a better place to live. Isn't that who you want as your financial partner?
Wildcat Basketball Weekly continues, presented by Hughes Federal Credit Union. Show your Wildcat spirit with a U of A Visa debit card. Get yours today at hughesfcu.org.
So Oregon State does not have a great record. You can't ignore that, but that's always been a tough place for your team, Gill Coliseum. And you've described the Beavers as a very physical basketball team. What are some of the things that your team needs to do well going into Corvallis on Thursday?
Well, they have 2 sophomores a lot like Alonzo that have gained a lot of experience a year ago and are that much better, and they're playing their best basketball right now. Stephen Thompson, he had over 50 points in their recent trip to Colorado and at Utah, and their team played very good in both of those games. Drew Eubanks, the same thing. He's had double-doubles, and he was a very good freshman a year ago as a big physical defender. But, I think that when Wayne Tinkle's son got hurt early on, that's a big blow. I mean, you're losing a 20-point-per-game scorer, and I'm not sure if he's going to play against us, but if he doesn't, that's been one of the things that Oregon State's had to overcome. But they're going to play hard. A team like them is just looking for that one moment, that breakout game where it makes their season and turns things around. And, being able to play us, who's in first place at home, when I think they just played 2 very good games on the road, it's set up for them to play well. And we have to go in there, and that's part of what I talked to our team about after the Washington game. The standard we hold ourselves to is everything, because we're going to get the other team's best shot. Playing on the road is difficult. It always has been, and Gill Coliseum is no different.
So that target's on the Wildcats' back now, being alone in first place everywhere you go now. You mentioned that. For your young guys, how do you approach that with them? You mentioned talking to them about it. Is there anything else that you do to prepare them for the eventuality of being that target that everybody's going after?
Well, I think the last 2 teams we played gave them some real evidence of what we mean when you're going to get the other team's best shot. And Washington State and Washington really did a great job against us. Now that we're going on the road, and let me just say this, it wasn't like when we've gone on the road the other 4 times that the other team wasn't ready to go. But now, more so than ever, because it's entering February, we're in the top 5, we're in first place in the Pac-12, and there's more results in now to make us who we are. So we clearly have to be ready. We're going to get a big crowd, we're going to get a team that's playing very hard, and you can't let your guard down. We have to be at our best. And if we're at our best and it doesn't work, well, it's not like we're supposed to win every game, especially on the road. But you don't want to leave the game feeling that you didn't leave everything on the court and you didn't execute the way we're capable.
All right, Wildcats in Corvallis on Thursday night and Eugene on Saturday afternoon, and we'll see you next time on Wildcat Weekly.
Thank you for watching Wildcat Basketball Weekly, presented by Hughes Federal Credit Union, home of the free U of A Visa debit card. Get yours today at hughesfcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.